A year ago, the Ontario government announced that it plans to build a new jail in Ottawa that will be 25% bigger. 140 more spaces and at a cost of $500 million to $1 billion. A large number of the people locked up at the Ottawa jail have mental health issues or drug issues. They're often poor, homeless, racialized, and often incarcerated because of minor non-violent charges or relatively trivial breaches of bail conditions. Given this, do you think that spending $500 million to $1 billion building a bigger jail is most effective and humane? Oh, there you go.
So I've been involved in this file for a few years now, both in my capacity as the Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services and my current role as the Attorney General. And I will say to you, I'll be the first one to say, if anybody tells you that the best way to deal with issues around safety and helping people is just by simply building a new jail, I've been on record saying absolutely not. What we really need to focus on is changing our system, making sure that we are putting more focus on rehabilitation and reintegration. And I have, over the last few years, have been doing the work, not just by myself, but actually taking inspiration and learning from a lot of the experts. Many of them are right here in this room. So that we have rewritten the legislation around corrections for the first time in the province, focusing on reintegration and rehabilitation. We have changed our bail policy so that our focus is that those individuals who are low risk and vulnerable are released in the community so they can get mental health and addiction supports. In fact, for the very first time in Ontario since I became the AG, we're using justice dollars to provide for mental health services in the community. We're using justice dollars to provide housing in the community. We have started the process, the important process to make sure that we are providing better services, because that's how we build better communities. But I can also tell you that OCDC, the current jail, is not suitable to provide any kind of programming whatsoever, not to mention it's got a huge workplace safety issue that raises concerns. So we need a better facility. That's one way to stop me.
Well, I want to thank you for the question, because I teach in the Department of Law and Legal Studies at Carleton University, and many of my colleagues have been in the forefront of trying to educate us. And I connect with this personally, because when my mom's first marriage fell apart and I moved back to rural Eastern Ontario with her and my little brother, I was 3 years old at the time, we were on social assistance for 4 years, and those are rough years. There was not a lot of money to go around. And I often think to myself, as folks have educated me on the terrible conditions at the jail, and who ends up in the jail? Always poor, disproportionately Indigenous, Black and brown people, people struggling with mental health illnesses. What constantly occurs to me is that aphorism, there but for fortune go I. What would have happened to me? What would have happened to anybody we know if you fall into chronic poverty, chronic lack of treatment for mental health services or drug addiction services? And the Ottawa Carleton Detention Centre right now is a testament to who gets left out of our society. 70% of people who are still there are on remand, which is criminal justice speak for. They've been accused, but they've not been convicted. And they stay there despite the bail reforms because they're poor. If it were me, I wouldn't be there.
I'm sorry.
That is, pardon me? That is a testament to what goes wrong. I agree with Yasir in our criminal justice system, but the Liberals have had 15 years to fix it. And what I pledge to do as your MPP is speak loudly against the creation of the new jail, the 148 new spaces. We don't need. We need real support.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bruce Hutchison, a clinical psychologist. And speaking of